You are the Dutch. You are a pirate. You are the British. You all have individual jobs. You can RP to your heart's freaking content. And it is as historical as you could possibly get. I'm gonna let Will talk about this one. We're talking about Sailpower.
The game is Sailpower, Naval Combat in the Age of Sail. And it's, first of all, it is goddamn beautiful. You can play this game on whatever scale you want, anywhere down to 6mm. We were playing on probably, I don't know, a 12 by 8 table, something like that. And they print the ships, 3D print the ships, or you can get them hand molded. They also do terrain and forts and things. So basically the setup for us was we had 2 Dutch forts, one in each corner. Casey and I were assigned to the Dutch. We had close to 20 people playing this one. The British had a pretty heavily defended fort in the middle. The port that Casey and I were at was relatively understaffed compared to the one on the other side of the table, which had plenty of supplies and crew and cannon. And apparently throughout the weekend they had been playing multiple games of this, and the scenario had evolved as the previous ones changed it. So by the time that we got into the game, and next year I might try to play through the whole series if I can, but by the time we got into it, we were in the one fort that was understaffed. The British had that first 6 or 7 ships on the board. One of them was a light frigate. The other one is a pretty heavily defended ship. Meanwhile, I had a 8-gun brig, brigantine, and Casey had a small little gunboat. So it was up to the 2 of us to defend this port and keep the British from taking it. Meanwhile, we had some Dutch colleagues on the other side of the board. Their job was to get supplies into our port, or at least help with the defense of it. And next to them were a bunch of pirates who were just kind of doing whatever they wanted. Somehow we managed to talk them into working with us, although we were 90% certain they fired on us at one point. Anyway, the gameplay's it's a pretty deep game, and you need to have a good understanding of, not necessarily a good understanding, but at least a basic understanding of how ships work at sea, because it all really kind of comes into play. The biggest one being the allocation of crew. That gets pretty complicated. You have a certain crew allotment for your ship. You have to have some aloft in order to sail. You have to have some on deck to man the cannons. You have to have some on repair if your ship catches fire. You have to have some boarding if you want to board somebody else, or if you want to go out and search the islands that are around, because you can search for treasure, which is super awesome. Although the way the rules are written right now, I think there's a little too much emphasis on treasure for victory conditions, because spoiler alert, the British actually won based solely, more or less, on the fact that they captured so much treasure. They didn't take the port, so technically I still feel like we got a victory out of that, but it's only counted as a minor victory. And semantics, there's more that goes into that. But anyway, so you allocate your crew. You have hull damage, you have sail damage for each of your masts. So you got to keep track of all that. You have certain speeds that you can travel, and that's how many inches you can travel depending on which way the wind's going. So it's pretty in-depth. The guns are different sizes. There are shore batteries, there are mortars, which are super fun when they actually hit, but kind of complicated to work out. So if you're really into naval combat, I really suggest you check it out. I know I'm going to check it out, if not to play it, at least to get some of their terrain for Sails of Glory or something else. But I would love to find a group that I could regularly play that with. It's definitely not a game that you can control a fleet on your own. You probably need one person per ship to figure it out. But at the very least, go online. If I remember correctly, it's Sea Dogs are the people that are the game company that's doing it. But I know if you go to sailpowergame.com, you can find it. And just check out the models. They are beautiful. And again, you can get them in whatever scale you want them to be. So I recommend it. I know it wasn't Casey's favorite, although part of that was because he literally got blown out of the water in the first round. But
I lost every single gun on the first turn.
And most of your crew. But, that's what happens. And then you RP it out from there. And that's what made it really fun for me, too. It was a lot more fluid and loose than, say, Sails of Glory, where basically everything happens and there's a rule for it happening. If you want to decide you want to blow your ship up, as long as the GM's okay with it, you can blow your ship up and sacrifice it. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Our team blew themselves up. They're masochists. We set people on fire.
We did. We used fire ships. That's a legitimate tactic. Fire ships, explosion ships, or bomb ships, whatever you want to call it. Ramming. You're not really ramming anymore in the Age of Sail, but we did it. And it worked.
Check it out.